Hi, let's banter. I'm Chris Sanders. So, tonight I want to talk about an issue near and dear to my heart. I am certainly inspired by the incompetence of the Joe Biden administration, you know, and all of the Democratic government officials in my state that I voted for. Yes, that inspires me to do a video tonight. Largely the concerns around COVID have gone by the wayside, which, because people have gotten themselves vaccinated and the newer strains are less dangerous than the previous strains of COVID. The problem I'm having right now is that there is a new virus. Yes, a new virus. We got out of COVID and into a new virus called monkeypox. And so monkeypox gives you these weird and painful rashes and odd spots and makes people very, very sick and very, very disturbed. And so I want us to, we'll read a little bit of this New York Times article. Not going to read the whole thing because, there's some amazing things going on right now. So, New York Times, monkeypox catches New York City off guard again. New York City is caught off guard again. Long lines for vaccines. Testing is slowed. Antivirals are held up. Treatment is easier for the privileged. Sound familiar? So, over the past month, the number of people identified with monkeypox in New York City has jumped more than 30-fold from 10 to 336, a figure that surely underestimates the incident rate considering that many cases have gone undiagnosed. During this period, Eric Adams has been busy celebrating Pride, holding a party at Gracie Mansion, and reminding the world just how deeply New York embraces the LGBTQ community, while so many other parts of the country seem bent on a regression to the pre-Stonewall era. All right. Here in New York, the mayor declared, we are happy to say that we are gay. But we are not getting monkeypox, a disease primarily and currently afflicting gay men who have sex with men. The lack of public information about the illness, along with the difficulties around access to the vaccine, have shown how the professed love and support coming from the left can feel rhetorical. Yes, that's how I feel. Like, look, I vote left. I'm, if you looked at my policies and the left wing policies, they're almost, they're probably 90% in alignment. But I mean, to be fair, when I talk to, my Republican friends, I went to SMU. I have a lot of Republican friends, and when I talk to them, I would probably say that we agree on like 70% of the things. So on the left, 90%, maybe not officially, but the rank and file Republican friends, we agree like 70%. All right. So in New York City, that claims to care about all of the gay people, they claim to care about the black people and the other the Latino people and the Asian people and the Indian people, all the minorities, Muslims, yes, everybody, women, everybody. But I'm having trouble getting a vaccine, and that is pissing me off. Like, I don't understand why they don't have a vaccine. What is Joe Biden doing? What is all of these people doing? I don't want to put anyone on blast, but I'm getting really irritated at my government officials not being able to do anything. They saw the monkeypox coming several months ago, they were, talking about it, and then they still didn't do anything about it. Joe Biden didn't do anything about it. And, I'm like, okay, so maybe he's just not up to the job. Like maybe this isn't the right job for him. So New York Times goes on, So let's see here. Let's look at this last part. Facing increasing pressure, Mr. Adams called on the Biden administration earlier this week to deliver more vaccines to the city beyond what has already been allocated, which includes 14,500 new doses that just arrived and that the city plans to distribute in every borough. But that figure represents roughly 10% of the national total, even though the city has 32% of the country's cases. Issues around fair access are also concerning, given that the city's reliance on Twitter to distribute information about the vaccine availability has privileged those with the time to linger online. Among those lucky enough to have received their shots, many were able to book appointments through advance word from a whisper network made up of well-connected men in tech, health, care, and media, when a much wider demographic would have benefited from the use of a broad public information campaign with conversations about diversity, equity, and inclusion front of mind in nearly every sector of contemporary life. Is this really the way forward? And you know what? This is typical of the gay community. They have been hypocritical on accepting minorities, Black people, Asians, Latino people into their groups. They have, and so it doesn't shock me that these people are being left out of vaccination by the gay community. But then when the disease ends up spreading all over the place, but then people are, this is the way we're treated in the gay community. This is what happens when you prioritize white gays over everybody else. I'm not anti-white, but I'm just saying that's the way it is in the gay community right now, is that white people are prioritized over all the other gays of other races. But while everyone's trying to make this a gay disease, I want you to take a look at this. Look at this. Listen to this. I want you to take a look at this. I had to find it for a second, but here we go.
It's absolutely crazy to me. And I'm going to try and do this in 3 minutes. Sunday morning, I woke up with an insane rash on my forehead and chest. I thought, okay, if this doesn't go away by tomorrow, I'm going to go to urgent care. I go to urgent care the very next day. They say, oh, that's MRSA. I said, okay, well, can we test it to make sure? They said, oh, yeah, if you want. They take a culture. They say it'll take 3 days to come back, give me an antibiotic, but tell me to see my PCP immediately. So I see my PCP immediately. She says, oh, it's a rash. Gives me an antibiotic. So in my mind, I know that it's not just a rash. I can tell that something's wrong. So I call urgent care, and I'm just like, hey, is there any way you can test that for monkeypox? They said, monkeypox? I said, yeah, that disease that's going around? They said, yeah, we don't do that. So I get a third opinion, see another PCP. I go in. She says, let me go get my colleague. So now I have 2 doctors staring at me. They both say, I have no idea what this is. You can go back to work. So I'm driving home, tell my boss I can come back to work. They call me 45 minutes later, said, do not go anywhere. We think this is monkeypox. Please go see this dermatologist tomorrow. So I make an appointment with that dermatologist. Let me also just mention, at the appointment, I mentioned, hey, do you think this is monkeypox? And they said, what's monkeypox? So Thursday comes around, the day of my dermatology appointment. The doctor calls me and says, We're canceling your appointment. We're not dealing with that. And I quote, call the CDC, is what they told me. I call the CDC. The CDC says, call your PCP. The lady I talked to at the CDC had no idea what she was talking about. Couldn't answer any of my questions. I have not been able to get tested anywhere. Doctors have refused to see me. And I have this mysterious and painful rash all over my face, chest, arms, back. And meanwhile, 3 doctors had no idea what I was talking about when I said, is this monkey pox? So if you're wondering how COVID got spread around so easily, for 2 years we were locked down and millions of people died, it's because the CDC has no idea what they're doing. Nobody's educated, not even doctors. And doctors will refuse to see.
All right, let's go to the second part of that video.
Arms back. And meanwhile, 3 doctors had no idea what I was talking about when I said, is this monkey pox? So if you're wondering how COVID got spread around so easily, for 2 years we were locked down and millions of people died, it's because the CDC has no idea what they're doing. Nobody's educated, not even doctors. And doctors will refuse to see you, treat you, and or test you. And the CDC does nothing about it. But I would like to say thank you to Central Outreach Wellness Program in Pittsburgh, PA, who agreed to see me today, advocated to get me tested, got me tested, gave me the best and treated me the best out of every doctor I've seen this week. I have nothing but good things to say about them. I'm truly so grateful for them. And because of them, I got tested. I got an answer to this rash that I've had for 5 days now that nobody has even had an answer to or will see me about. Arms back.
So this is the problem with labeling something a gay disease or a black disease or a white disease or, Chinese disease. Is the problem with that is it doesn't allow you the ability to adequately take the disease seriously and the spread of the disease seriously. Like when you start labeling, oh, it's a gay disease, so that means you just don't want to do anything about it. You don't really, that's politicians trying to get out of not doing anything. They don't want to do anything. So their default, like for Democrats and and Republicans, they have different ways of saying they don't want to do anything. They just want to grift and put money in their pocket. So what the Republicans do is they say that, oh, we want small government. Well, that's code language for we don't really want to govern. We just want the position, the power, and the money. But we don't want to do anything for it. And then the Democrats, they get elected and say, oh, we're going to do all this stuff. But then when it comes time to govern, they do things like, oh, we can't, this one's blocking or that one's blocking, or, oh, we're totally helpless. We can't do anything. And so by labeling, so both of them, Republicans and Democrats, by labeling monkeypox a gay disease, and by only focusing on the gay community, what they're doing is trying to justify not adequately responding to the disease and the threat from the disease. So just understand that they are trying to do nothing at all. When they were elected to govern, they are not governing, and I need them to govern. We need them to govern better. They need to get the vaccines distributed. I mean, I shouldn't be able to walk anywhere without a vaccine hitting me. Like, I don't understand what's going on. What is Joe Biden doing? I haven't seen him. He's been unheard of. He's been in a hole somewhere. I'm like, if he's that bad that he can't come out and respond to a new disease threat right off the heels of COVID-19, then I mean, to be honest, I'm willing, as unpopular as Kamala is, I'm willing to give her a shot. Like, seriously, maybe she can just finish up. Like, that's where I'm at, because I am frustrated by Joe Biden's inability to do anything at all. With like he started off good, and then I don't know what happened after the Afghanistan thing. I was like, yes, he shut down that war, did it no matter what. That was the right thing to do. Then and then he disappeared. He didn't do anything else after that. Like I'm like, come on, man. Like, really? You're not going to do anything after the first 6 or 8 months in the job. All right. Mm. So that is very frustrating. But you know what? I need him to pull it together and get the vaccine out there and distribute it. And where is Congress? Where is Chuck Schumer? He didn't pass a law, anything. He didn't propose anything. Where is the money to get this done? Like to make sure that it doesn't need to spread to like, another 100 million Americans before we decide we're going to do something about this treatable disease that existed since the 1950s. In any case, let me know what you think in the comments, disagree, whatever, whatever. And, inform me, give me information. I love learning. Hey, I always change my opinion for the better opinion. Let's make it a great day.